underlined it, I underlined it. You say that you relied on your family to be by your side, but they quickly pushed you to one side and labeled you as a person who doesn't want to do anything in life.
Yes, sir.
And that's not true, is it? You do want to do something.
Yes, sir, I do.
But would it be accurate to say you're having trouble getting the transmission in gear?
Yes, that's an accurate statement. I don't know where I'm gonna go. And it's
How
scary.
much has been explained to you about PTSD, TBI, and your actual mental, emotional, behavioral functioning?
They haven't really touched on it at the VA at all, so I just try to look online.
That's just so wrong. Daniel says he needs some direction in his life because ultimately he has no idea where he's going. He doesn't have a plan for putting one foot in front of the other. We're going to start doing that after the break. Former U.S. Marine Daniel admits that he turned to drinking in order to numb all the noise of the three screaming women in his life. His fiancée Marissa says her future mother-in-law calls them the prostitute and the drunkard. And unless things change today, they will break all ties. You were injured.
Yes, sir.
And it involved an IED, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's all I want to know. Don't need to think about or go into any detail about that.
Thank you.
The reason I'm saying that, it is extremely counterproductive to have people with PTSD, certainly PTSD with TBI, traumatic brain injury, to recount the details of what caused that situation. And when we're talking about TBI, traumatic brain injury, we're talking about a disruption in the normal function of the brain caused by a bump, a blow, a jolt to the head, or any kind of penetrating head injury. Now this can be from concussion from sound, it can be from actual impacts with the brain. Most folks think that PTSD is and that is short for post-traumatic stress disorder, think that's a psychological situation. It's an anxiety disorder that some people develop after seeing or living through an event that caused or threatened serious harm or death. But, and it can cause you to have dreams, nightmares, intrusive recollections, reliving the trauma, psychological and physiological reactions to certain cues, can be sounds or whatever. And it kind of takes you back to that moment instantly and can cause you to have panic attacks or whatever. And you tend to think of that as a psychological disorder, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's not. There's a huge neurological component to this. I want to add to the conversation Dr. Frank Lawless. He's chairman of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board, and it just so happens that he is author of the PTSD Breakthrough, and he is the co-founder of the Lawless PvP Center. And I consider Dr. Lawless to be the leading expert on PTSD in the world today. Talk about what you think needs to happen in this situation where we're dealing with PTSD with traumatic brain injury.
Well, I think, first of all, I want to make sure that everybody understands that the brain can heal itself. And what we've discovered in the last 5 years is how to do that. And so consequently, what I want to do is step number one is do a brain map and see where the injury is, and then begin to introduce him to areas that will basically fix or what we call create a plasticity in the brain that will give him his memory back, that will give him his a way of dealing with his anxiety and with his depression. And Coach Mike is basically becomes part of that team that he can meet with every day or every week or something to keep him online.
And that's just part of the puzzle here. I said we're going to bring resources to Daniel, and I want to talk more about that. Sarah said that she would write to me every single day until she got to sit right here on this stage and get her brother the help that he needed. Well, she and her family are here, and I'm going to tell them the rest of what I think needs to happen right after the break. I want to introduce Dr. Cecilia Milet. Now, Cecilia is the executive and clinical director of the Cass Treatment Center right here in Los Angeles. She works closely with Coach Mike here, Mike Bayer. Cecilia has extensive experience and skills in the development, delivery, and administration of outpatient behavioral health care services, and she is the former director of Kaiser Permanente's outpatient psychiatric department in Los Angeles. Thank you for being here today. You and I have talked, and we've talked with Mike, and our plan, Daniel, is we want very much to go through this sequentially. We want first to fly you out of here to Dallas, Texas, to the PNP Center, and have Dr. Lawless get very involved with evaluating and doing this brain mapping and finding out exactly what needs to go on. And then he is going to work very closely with Dr. Milet here, and then we want you to come from there, not back home, but to come see Dr. Milet at the Cass Center here and begin to work with her doing the things that she does and is so good at, and follow up with Dr. Lawless's protocols as well. Dr. Milet, you can help him with all of this, including the anxiety, the depression, and continuing with these protocols from Dr. Lawless, correct?
That's right, Dr. Phil. Once those parts of the brain start to come alive, we can continue the work with the neural net, which means to expand his healthy habits, to explore what maladaptive behaviors don't work anymore, and to kind of have more choices in his life.
We want to get this going for you, get your brain to start healing itself and get working back in the right direction. And Marissa, we want you to be very involved in this and supporting and helping him. And we want to get you the help that you need as well, so this can be as healthy and positive as it can possibly be. So we want to bring the resources to you as individually and as a couple as well. So, we're going to do all that, okay? All right. Thank you, sir.
It's amazing, thank you.
All right. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan, we got you.
Sound good?
That sounds amazing, so thank you.
All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Dr. Frank Lawless, personal development coach, and Dr. Phil Contributor, regular contributor Mike Bayer, who is also founder and CEO of Cass Centers, and Dr. Cecilia Milet, the executive and clinical director at Cass. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Tell us what you think on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time.